Hi. Hello. I'd like to talk today a little bit about the nature essay. And writing a nature essay is a lot of fun. It's something we can do relatively quickly and write something that has meaning to us and is quite fascinating. Now, the first thing we want to do in any essay is just grab the reader's attention. We can do that with something like a startling statement, something that'll startle the reader into getting curious. Like, for example, have you heard about the wild horses of the West and roaming throughout states like Idaho, Montana, Utah, Nevada? Beautiful. Some of the most beautiful wild mustangs, free animals, most majestic animals. Well, this time, 6 months from now, over 1,000 of them will have been slaughtered by the Bureau of Land Management, and your tax dollars are paying for it. So a startling statement there, and that'd be your whole intro. All you do then is finish up with your thesis statement. Another example would be a rhetorical question. How would you feel to find out that there's a beautiful Eden within 30 minutes of your home? However, it's about to be bulldozed down. Now, that could be combining a, uh, uh, a rhetorical question with a startling statement. So you don't have to do that, but that's one thing you could do. Another thing is tell your own story. Tell a little brief story, a little brief nature story. For example, nature can be a brutal place. For example, I remember the time when I was climbing in the Sawtooth Mountains on a steep rope on a steep hill of scree, and I lost my footing, and it was so steep that I went I went flying down that hill and had a really a brutal crash at the bottom, and I hadn't even realized the danger I was in because I thought I had better footing. Anyway, something like that. Something brief, any brief story that you think leads into whatever it is you're writing about. And there could be thousands of different stories of nature. So the first thing we want to do is just hook. We can do it with a startling statement, a question, like a rhetorical question, or just a curiosity provoking question. Telling a little brief story basically, if you've got a decent story, people love a good story. But remember, introduction should be really brief, so keep it to a few sentences, really, three, 4 sentences at the most. And then we end that introduction with a thesis statement, which is very simple. It's just in one sentence we say what's the main point we're making in the essay. So let's say we're talking about a description essay, and we're going to talk about. Let's say we're going to talk about. We're going to describe the high deserts of Idaho. So we'll just say, the high deserts of Idaho are one of the most beautiful places in the West. Now beautiful is a little bit broad. We might want to get a little more specific than that if we could. How about peaceful? How about invigorating or inspiring? Well, that's a little more specific. Why don't we say the high deserts of Idaho are one of the among the most inspiring places in the whole world. That's our thesis statement. Now, in order to write the rest of the essay, all we got to do is basically deliver on our promise, which is that the high deserts of Idaho are the most inspiring places in the world, one of the most inspiring places. So this is a descriptive essay, not an argument, but what we can do is focus on the descriptive aspect of it. So what's inspiring? The beauty. So we could say, so you go, well, what do I do now? I've told my main thesis. Well, you go, in order to basically come up with your topic sentences, your main points that you're going to cover. The topic sentence is the first sentence of that paragraph that you're going to write. So we just go, well, what's an example of why do you say, why do I say that Idaho's high deserts are among the most inspiring places anywhere? Well, What's an example? Well, the beautiful flowing golden grass, the golden fields, the beautiful golden fields of grass. So I'll start my paragraph. That's my first example. So I'll go, well, one of the things that is so inspiring about the high deserts of Idaho is the beautiful fields of flowing golden grass. And then I can basically ask the question again. Well, what's an example? You know, what are the specific details about these golden glowing fields? So basically, I'm going to get into describing the golden fields, everything about them, the contour of the land, the rocks coming up through the grass, whatever it is I want to talk about. And then I go back to my thesis again, and I ask the question again. Well, what's another example of why these golden fields are so beautiful or so inspiring? I'm sorry, why the high desert of Idaho is so inspiring. What's another example of that? We'll say, well, the wild horses, the wildlife of Idaho is so inspiring. And so I could talk about the beautiful. Try to think these wild. It's not elk. Antelope, the wild antelope in the high deserts. Speak of, well, anyway, for my next paragraph, that's more into the details. For the topic sentence, I'll just introduce the paragraph by saying, not only are the golden fields inspiring, but the wildlife is amazing. Then I've introduced the paragraph, and now I'm going to talk about the wildlife. I'll go, one example of what the amazing wildlife in the high deserts of Idaho is the antelopes, which often you don't get close to them, but you see them off in the distance from the freeway, or if you're out riding horseback far off the main road or something, and then you can describe whatever you know about the beautiful and what's so inspiring about these antelopes. And you go, not only the antelopes, but the horses, the wild mustangs are so inspiring also. So you're kind of getting into the animals in this paragraph. Talk about how you're inspired, what's inspiring about the animals. Now, if it's a 4-paragraph essay, then you just wrap it up with a conclusion. If you want to go into a longer essay with develop the idea more about how inspiring the high deserts are, then you just ask the question again. Well, what's another example of what makes these high deserts so inspiring? The quiet. So I'll just start that next paragraph. Not only in addition to the inspiration of the animals, the absolute quiescence of the high plains and the high deserts is unforgettable. So then I spend the rest of my paragraph talking about the sights, how the sights, sounds, smells, everything that comes alive in the quiet of the remote stretches, and so. And how I feel, the thoughts I have, the memories that come to me, the emotions I feel being in such a quiet place, things like that. And so I really developed that idea. And then again, I just wrap it up with a conclusion. Now, what about that conclusion? Keep it simple. Really, a couple of sentences is enough. Just something to wrap it up. It'd be great to have something, a memorable image, something memorable like maybe some really vivid image of the high deserts, a powerful image that you could leave that would be memorable to leave them with, some powerful image of the high desert, perhaps, or a prediction. I predict that if things don't change soon, the high deserts are going to be ruined from development or something. That would be more of an advocate, but probably that's not inspirational. So we'll stick to inspirational. We could make a prediction about how these could change your life if you spend some time there. So something quick, just wrap it up. Something memorable, and then you've got your descriptive nature essay written, and have fun with it.